right. Oh God. Should be okay. Just on one of the OBS isn't picking up my Jitsi. There we go. Now the other one's not. Uh oh. I think it's only letting me hook like one window in one OBS. Yeah, no, it's being interesting. Yeah, no, YouTube's one suffering. Do you want me to just kill the Facebook stream and I'm getting like 10% of some bullcrap. Hang on. Da-da-da. Go figure. See if this one goes down. Come on. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. There we go. Okay. YouTube's okay. Yes, we are. Except, give me one. Let's do this. Let's just. One sec. I'm just trying something real quick, and that should fix whatever we're having. Yes. Okay. And it should.
Okay, so another TROM-Cast, but this time is like the last TROM-Cast about the entertainment book that we released, and it is written by Dima, and of course we want Dima here so that we can discuss the book. But in the last minute, Dima said that he is extremely busy; he cannot participate. So we are going to move the TROM-Cast for the next week, and then we are going to discuss all kinds of news and updates, and I'll give you lots of subjects, guys, to discuss about. Because it's not like we are going to lack subjects to discuss. But yeah, it was a surprise for us as well. So we are trying to make this about some news and some updates with the project. And my mic is very very low.
No, I hear you loud and clear. Really? I can only think that we're just so loud, but I don't. You're coming through like crystal clear, man.
Okay. So we also have. So again, my mic is low.
Yeah. No, I see it.
She says that it goes very very low.
I have you cranked on mine.
Yes, but she was like,
Yeah.
hear Cody well, but you're not. But of course, look at my mic and look at Cody's mic.
It's mine.
And Cody somehow is going to like crap you on that green screen and
Mars.
it's a good idea to come with the video with the green screen. You're on the green screen. That's never good.
Woo.
Don't become a star.
Oh,
We have we have two new participants now. We have Alexio. Alexio is the first time that you participate.
Oh.
Like, is your mic working, Alexio? Because I'm curious if Alexio will participate like that. Alexio, he's helping us with all kinds of stuff, like from Java to like decentralizing some more stuff, making websites that are more like decentralized and not in WordPress, and all kinds of stuff. Like we have so much stuff going on. I'll explain more maybe in this TROM-Cast. And Luca, he's quite new to the project. I mean, he's new to a project in a sense that he contacted us not long ago, and he's now trying to help with maybe like with the website, some stuff, and some voiceovers. I think you said that yeah, you want to make audiobooks from our books to record that. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for joining. It's the first time that you joined, so hopefully you will join even more. Of course.
Okay. Francesco's saying you're too low too. Are you guys having trouble hearing anyone else? Because mine will be a separate feed, but I have me lower than everyone else, so.
So I'm,
Yeah, I can hear you too. Very good. All of you.
is this
And Georgie's saying it too.
yeah,
Okay, on the stream. Hang on.
For what?
Let me check.
one. I'll just talk like that.
This is the technical difficulties TROM-Cast. This is what this is. Huh?
Yeah. I'll just put it in my mouth. Okay.
I think that might work.
Oh, that's great.
Okay,
So
cool.
I hope that's
I'm gonna check real quick just to see what's going on.
hear anyone but Cody. Yes. Cody is very interesting broadcast.
I'm gonna check real quick.
Oh wow, yeah, no, I hear it. Yeah, it's like I'm like being echoed. But by what?
Someone doesn't have their headphones.
No, it's like it sounds like on my end, like it's I don't know.
No, no, Cody. I think you have two audios. It's from your mic and all of our mics, and all of our mics are very, very low compared to yours.
I have the desktop audio is at 0, but like it looks like my voice is attached to the desktop audio. Hang on.
Really, I don't see any of you. I mean, I don't see you on
So
the.
yeah, it's Cody's. It's not my mic. Okay.
Jeez.
I don't see any of you
Like in Jitsi or on YouTube?
on Jitsi.
In Jitsi, I have 3 people who are black right now, but I can see Aaron Tio.
Don't worry about that, Cody. It's about the fact that you have two audios in OBS. Your audio comes well. That's why we can hear each other.
Yeah, hang on.
OBS is
H.
linked to YouTube, so our audio is very low.
Try this. Tell me.
But when you
Yeah, when I'm speaking, my desktop audio is going off for some reason.
and when I speak, what goes up?
Hang on.
When I speak.
Talk. Talk.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, the desktop audio goes up, but it's not by a lot. What the hell's going on?
So how long do you have
Oh, I know what it is. I switched to my headphones and it defaulted to something else. Hang on. Oh, you piece of crap. Hang on.
you have two audios?
I'm working on it. Hang on. Okay. All right. I changed it back to normal.
See?
Okay. That should do it. Tell me, guys.
Okay.
That should be do it. Everything from here should be fucking.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Me switching
Let's
to
see.
headphones and completely fuddled it.
Let's see. If people can confirm that, then we can probably start.
Can everyone hear you?
Yeah, the people in Jitsi could hear everything. Okay, it all makes sense now.
So, let's see. Come on, people. Can you hear me well?
You should be able to hear everyone.
Okay.
Everyone should be awesome. Yes.
That's it, I think. I think that's it. Perfecto. That's it. Okay. So again, let's start by me saying that this TROM-Cast is not what you think it should be. We wanted to make it about the entertaining book that Dima wrote, but Dima cannot participate, so we make this about TROM news and updates, and it will not be a long TROM-Cast. It will be like an hour or less than an hour. Yeah, it's going to, like, other people are participating. That let's see if their mics are working, and we'll see. We'll discuss about this because our mics didn't work, but now they work, and this is very uncomfortable for me. But anyways, okay, so we have like a bunch of news that it doesn't matter if you read those news or not, but it's about the subjects themselves. So we can transform that into a subject because they are very, very interesting. And I'll give you the one of those ideas to see what you think about that. So it was this asteroid
Aha.
that Put the asteroid news. It was this asteroid that passed by Earth. It was very, very close, but they only... Oh, hi, Sasha.
Hi.
Okay, so more people than I anticipated, which is great. Okay, so this asteroid so passed by very, very close to Earth, and they only detected it when it was like, it would be too late to avoid like a very big problem. Like if you would like smash into a city, you will destroy a city of like, I don't know, 10,000 people or something like that. It'll be really, really bad. And it was
That sounds
interesting.
like a very small number though. 10,000 people.
Well, I mean, there's still like 10,000 people dying. Is 5 times
Yeah.
more than like the terrorist attacks in US, the biggest terrorist attacks. So it's still a big problem. But the interesting thing is that you see, we have all of this technology, but detecting asteroids is fucking difficult. It's like you don't know. Software cannot properly detect whatever it's an asteroid, whatever it's going here or going there, or the directions and the speed, and it's very difficult to identify. So we need people. This is my point here. We will need people. We need more eyes on the sky, and this will help if it be like more like a collaborative things, and people, volunteers could look for asteroids. And there are some really cool websites like Asteroid Hunter or something like that you can go there even right now and just try to detect asteroids and maybe save some lives if you detect something. So it's very interesting. Did you guys hear about this kind of like you can detect asteroids thing?
No. I didn't know that like you could log into a website and look for these things.
It's like Planets Zoo or Zoo Planets or something. They have all kinds of things, like you can detect all kinds of stuff. It's like a game. It's like for citizen scientists.
That's
It's
pretty
very,
cool.
very interesting. So you see, maybe it was like close for an asteroid to just smash into the Earth. But another interesting thing is that the Earth is covered like 70+% in water, so it's very likely that it will smash into the ocean. But that's a reminder of how dangerous the space can be, and then maybe we take it for granted. We have weapons to like kill entire countries or the entire fucking planet, But we should have weapons to kill these threats like the asteroids. We have better, because I'm reading the article and it was like, yeah, humans have the technology to deflect asteroids, but they have to know it 1 year in advance. Like if this asteroid comes, they're like, okay, next year, it will hit us. But this one was like, okay, I think this one just passed by yesterday. So
how
that's
close was it when people actually picked it up?
it was between Earth and the Moon. So it was.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
was
see that. It's 1/5 of the distance between the Earth and the Moon.
And I think it was, I don't remember, like 100 meters or something, or not even that. It wasn't that big.
It says 100-meter wide. It's 100-meter wide asteroid.
Do you guys know when you
That's
see
pretty
a meteor shower? This is a question for you guys. A meteor shower, how, those like shooting stars, how big they are? Do you know?
I think they're like tennis ball size.
Tennis ball?
A grain of sand, right?
Exactly, grains of sand. That's how small they are.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. So imagine 100 meters
If it's like
asteroid.
100 meters, that's gonna be.
That's a big show.
Last show.
Yeah, and I mean, if people collaborated together, this would be real defense, against something that's actually dangerous to all people, as opposed to just defense against each other's tribes. Am I echoing?
Well,
A little bit, but you're okay.
I would say it's they have, obviously they usually know way in advance when, or at least that's what they say, that's their plan is, well, we'll know like 2 years before it comes, or 1 year, if there's something on course that's actually going to impact us in some way or affect our Earth. That's what their defense plan of defense.
That's what they're trying, basically. But it's very difficult with smaller ones, like 100 meters or so. It's extremely difficult to detect. That's why even the ESA, the European Space Agency, encourages like programs of letting volunteers getting involved to like visually detect asteroids, and then
to help them, because the software is not enough in these cases. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know what's like the biggest one. I think it was in Russia. There is like, it's a big crater in
Tunguska.
Sasha might know the name, but I don't know how
The
to pronounce
Tunguska
it.
event. Tunguska, whatever.
Yeah, and it is a big like crater, and I think that meteorite was the same size as this one, the 100-meter one or something like that. It's also a language kind of stupid thing. Like, is this a piece of rock? You see, it's called asteroid when it comes towards Earth. If it goes into the atmosphere, it's meteorite, and if it's hits the Earth, it's meteor or something like that. Like, okay, it's a piece of rock. Okay, that's what it is. But there are lots of such pieces of rock in outer space. But the thing is that the outer space is so huge that it's very unlikely, for stuff to come and smash into our planet. But in the past, I mean, this is one interesting thing. If you look at the moon, because I think I showed you guys when you came here in May to some of you, the moon, and it has so many craters. I showed you to my telescope. So many craters, and the thing is that you may ask yourself, like, what the fuck, everything is smashes into the moon, but not the Earth. Like, what's happening there? Something is suspicious. The thing is that you can see the scars of the moon because it is not active, it's not geologically active. So you can see all of the asteroids that hit like thousands, maybe millions of years ago. Earth was the same, So it's not like we are somehow. That's a proof that we can get really fucked up, by these space rocks. We have this atmosphere, but this atmosphere cannot protect us for something that is more than a few meters in size. So that's a very important thing. If we, as a species, could see ourselves as a species and protect ourselves with those weapons of mass destruction, to make the weapons for deflecting asteroids, to put as much power, like money, let's say, resources into like defending our planet instead of defending USA or defending Europe or defending Germany. That would be quite
Yeah, and
nice.
just defending the entire environment that we need to survive in, to stopping climate change. It's another danger to
This is
everything that lives. So.
we're not even ants on the vast scale of the universe. We're like microscopic. We're not even microscopic if you're going to. We don't even know how big the universe is. As far as we're concerned, it's huge, and we don't know where it ends.
And we are not protected by.
It is just so bizarre that you could get taken out by a flying random space rock. Just one lumpy boy could end you.
Yeah, lumpy boy.
I have a question. Are we allowed to take Jupiter? I think I've heard this that because of Jupiter it has such a big gravity, so many asteroids fall into Jupiter, and it kind of protects us a little. I mean, not from everything.
I think quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
The fact that Jupiter is so massive and it attracts, like, hey, the party is here, and all of the asteroids come to me. That's a great thing, Else we might get a bit fucked by it.
Yeah, I've heard that guy is so massive, he can break up asteroids large enough, because the side facing closer to the planet face, feels more gravity than the side that doesn't face it, so it breaks up.
It breaks up planets. Like the rings of Saturn are basically planets that were split apart by the gravitational pull, and then they created this ring around Saturn. So yeah, that's very, very cool, actually. Actually, moons of other planets like Saturn or Jupiter, they are geologically active, like we have here volcanoes and stuff like that, not because of their core, but because of the forces there. They attract towards the planet, and they just, they produce their own like geysers and maybe lava, because it's like too much pressure there. It's very interesting.
Oh, do you guys watch this
That was very
podcast by this, I forget his name, Last Petrov. He opens his every YouTube video with "Hello, wonderful humans." Sometimes I just log on to hear that. But he had one video in which he said, every time the planets line up once every 11 or 12 years when they're going around the sun, it results in a spike in the activity of the sun. Have you heard about that? It's like quite periodic.
I didn't. I think for me you interrupt a lot, so I didn't.
No, I'm saying
You're
when
choking
all
a
the
bit.
planets, yeah, when the planets go around the sun, every 11 years or something they line up in their orbit, all in a straight line, and that has an effect on the sun. The solar activity goes up. It's like more or less very periodic.
I've heard something about this, but it's also that they are not on the same plane. You know, they are on different probably
Right.
planes, so it's a straight line. It depends. But here's another interesting fact. I don't know if you guys know. It's like, because I said that this asteroid went in the space between Earth and the Moon. The thing is that between the Earth and the Moon, you can fit all of other planets. You know, so it's quite a big space. You can put all of the other planets in between. That's as big as it.
I feel better.
That's very interesting.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Very interesting. But in terms of light, how much do you think, guys, it takes light from Earth to reach the Moon? A beam of light.
Like a second and a half to get there? Like 3 seconds?
Are you guys googling it?
Oh man.
Yeah, a second.
Yeah, I'm not googling it. I'm trying to calculate.
A second.
He's calculating.
Yeah, a second. So you see, for us it's a big space, but in terms of like the universe, it's like just one light second away. Yeah, which is interesting. Yeah. So by the way, these news are from Trom curated news. We have a news section, and every TROM-Cast we talk about them, but very very briefly. So today we decided to maybe talk a bit more
In depth.
in detail because in depth. Yeah. Okay, we can go to other news, and at the end, after we finish the news, I have some updates for you in terms of like Trom and or whatever we work on and stuff like that. So whichever you want, Cody.
Oh, okay. Let's do the ransomware attack. The power outages. Then,
Cody, what is a ransomware? Because people may not know.
What is a ransomware? So I guess a ransom, you're holding someone or something hostage for financial gain usually. Ransomware is software that does the same thing. Usually it will try to encrypt the files on your computer, and then you have to pay them X amount of dollars or Bitcoin to unlock it or stop whatever it is they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to move into the digital world in terms of the ransomware. No, you don't hold hostage people, you hold hostage files, data, digital stuff. How? You just encrypt it. And you see, this is another phase of encryption. That's why, encryption, is encryption good or bad? I think in general it's good because it can protect us from eyes who may look at our data, but you can also use it for bad, like pretty much every tool. You can encrypt someone's files and say, okay, I have the key. You want them decrypted? Send me some
Bitcoin, please.
coins, Bitcoin and Ethereum or whatever coins are out there. Yeah, this is going to happen more and more. I think we just is the beginning of this kind of things, this ransomware things, attacks for companies. For I've seen one for, I think it was a power supply company or something, or like the city. And they do that actually. I think it happened something like a power outage for a city, and they took control of their software because they of course use software to provide power to people, and they asked for money, and the city couldn't do anything but just pay them like hundreds of thousands or thousands of dollars to just let them have power again. These are going to happen more and more. This is the next kind of war. The digital war.
Cyber warfare.
Yeah. It's dangerous war.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the solution is not for like these people like, oh, I'll just call up the tech and he's gonna fix it. they're just paying the ransom because you can't. You have to break the encryption if it's actually ransomware. So, you got to play their game. And the insurance companies who are insuring, these hospitals and whatever that are getting ransomware, they're just paying out.
Yeah. But it's not like, I think you said, for me, you interrupt a bit. Maybe it's just me. It's just my connection.
Oh, I was just saying, they're just paying out all the insurance companies that are insuring for this ransomware kind of attack. They just pay out whatever it is. So it's like that the solution is to pay the ransom.
Yeah, and I think that it's some people say don't pay them because you encourage, and but some may have no other choice because it's not like yes, security is important, like have some secure systems, but because this world is based on this kind of like trades and people want something, they want something in return, they want more coins, more stuff. As long as this environment, then you will see such breaches of security pretty much all the time. The bigger the stress of trades, the more of such breaches of security, I would say.
Well, I think it's interesting because you would actually have to somehow cybernetically, through these cyber technologies, you would actually have to kind of force yourself to be a part of them, or if you force society to be a part of them and you can't get out of them. These are virtual worlds, and they aren't necessarily the biggest problem.
I think
I'm not sure how to explain it. Right. Please go ahead.
I also think that back in the days when they started like US investing into like make aircrafts and then make all kinds of machineries to kill more people and so forth, and they got this advantage of building even more shit, and Europe was like killing lots of people in this World War II and shit like that, and the US could they were like a bit far away and they could grow their army and so forth, and they got this power. I think today it's another level. It's a level of cybersecurity, because I think like Israel, as far as I'm not mistaken, they are quite a power in this game of cyber war, and I think they even Israel, yeah, and they also made some viruses, as far as I know, that can infiltrate nuclear plants, and fuck them up. So imagine this, you don't need. This is the new weapon, and I think it's only the testing ground now. I think it's going to be extremely powerful and very like a reason of big concern. I feel like. Do you know, guys, about this kind of? I think I even posted a documentary and video on it about this 0 days. Is called the documentary, I think.
Yeah.
About this virus, but what was it about? It was about
Stuxnet.
virus in the Iranian nuclear plants, right?
Yeah, I think it was like the centrifuges that were enriching their uranium or whatever. It would make them spin up and damage themselves, and yeah. That was.
Who made it? I think it was like Israel or something like that.
Yeah, it was like some.
Wait, what was their plan? Are they really going to blow people up?
No. It was okay. So like, you need to enrich uranium to make nuclear weapons or whatever. So they had the centrifuges that can basically enrich the uranium or whatever. This Stuxnet virus that got into their systems was meant to basically sabotage those centrifuges. So they were stopping them.
So it would cripple the centrifuge.
Yeah. So they had no.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you could also probably blow things up in this kind of fashion.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's a game that you force upon yourself. It really is. I mean, a lot of the problems are just if you actually I think observe people. It's not so much a technology problem to a certain extent. It's a people problem that we are creating these roles in society that are obsolete, and we have we have this, we somehow perpetuate this notion of fame or power, and this is perpetuated by society. This is not technology. Technology is how we choose to use it.
Yeah.
But when we give technology too much control, then it can be a problem for us, because we really can't guarantee anything with technologies that are.
No.
And technology
It's
is
just that was not
Technologies have
ironic
gotten
at all.
Lucas.
technology took control over Lucas in connection and decided for
Robot.
him not to speak about
Yeah,
them.
the
okay?
robot uprising.
You speak
And Sasha too.
silence him.
Yes. Shh.
Yeah, but it's a very important topic, and I think we will see so much shit like this, like attacks in the digital space. And not only that, like it was another one on for the NHS, the National Health Institute in UK, where they basically attacked the healthcare system, and they encrypted their files, like patients' files and so forth, with this ransomware. And then they asked for money, and I think they paid or something. Something happened, you know. But imagine this: you attack an entire healthcare system, and you like mess it up. And because it was Windows, you know, and they had like ability there. And next time use Linux. Yeah. So Luca, you got interrupted by the technology.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes, yes, they were on to me.
Yeah. We speculated.
They were like, no, this guy's busting us. Whatever
Shutting
authorities.
down. But it brings you to an interesting question. When these technologies are currently being used, could it be argued that crippling is better than killing if it helps to prevent conflict?
What did you say?
Is crippling
Is
better?
crippling than killing if it helps to prevent conflict?
Well, like, how is crippling an entire healthcare system? You know, like in UK, like they were.
No,
they had
I'm
to-
saying
But
specifically if it helps to avoid conflict.
Yeah. If
But
that's
honestly, it avoids. I think it can create
Is
conflict.
gonna.
yeah.
I think the conflict is gonna be there no matter. It's just about which kind of tool you use as a weapon in it. So it's just gonna go back in time and then not use cyber war, but then just do whatever we did before then. But the conflict is probably still gonna be there because there's still trades.
Because if you attack the Iran's nuclear power plant with a virus, it's a digital, then those people will be like, okay, motherfuckers, what about if we drop some bombs on you now? You know, so it might create conflict, even more conflict.
Yeah, they'll just use more resources to make more weapons. If one weapon's not working, they'll create another one. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I'm just saying you guys are right. It's not an answer to conflict, but then I've heard this many times. When people say, okay, fine, you don't want to have conflict and you want to be non-violent. What if somebody points a gun at you? And if you had the chance to make that gun not fire, even for 1 second, so you could get away. If you could find technology like that, wouldn't that be worth exploring?
You mean to make the so-called weapons not deadly or something
No.
that could reduce?
Yeah. So the whole question is if we can invest instead of in lethal weapons, and say weapons that cripple and subdue.
Anything can be a deadly weapon. Like terrorists use now cars. Cars are quite effective to just run people over, and they can kill hundreds of people. If you take a big lorry, the truck, and you can. That's what happened in Nice, for example. Like knives can be very deadly. You can, like in UK, happened a few times. And some people went to the streets and just tried to stab.
Yeah, the people are pretty stabby over there.
They are pretty stabby.
Yeah.
A little less shooty than the US, though.
Yeah, less shooty, but I'm just saying,
Stabby
even
instead
with
of
that,
shitty.
I mean, even with that, you see police officers and law enforcement professionals carrying tasers. And even tasers can kill. If you have a heart condition and if it sets it off, it probably trigger cardiac arrest or something. Because you're never going to get the people who have the guns to put them down. For some reason, the most armed people tend to be the most insecure. And it's just a general question that I've had in my head. If you can invent a technology, let's say, that invalidates these weapons, it renders them useless. Would that be from a defensive point of view? Because you're not going to solve violence overnight, but say it's just hypothetical, but if you want to start getting there, you start focusing on things that can be used defensively. I agree that anything that can be used defensively can be turned into an offensive weapon. But would that mean that just because it can be turned that way, that we shouldn't explore non-lethal defensive alternatives, technologically?
Well, I think it's a nice mental experiment, but I don't think it would work in practice, because you would have to have some kind of like rule or system in place. And with any other rule as well, you know, people are gonna find a way that's just not with exactly what you put. Then it's just gonna be something else.
And I think
Well,
that like you can think about tasers, like maybe police officers, they started to maybe start to use more tasers than just lethal weapons. And I think, yes, if you look at statistics in US, there are a lot more deaths per capita than in UK, for example, where I think, as far as I know, police officers do not wear weapons and they don't sell weapons there. So to a certain degree, I think that lethal weapons could increase the maybe not the attacks, but the efficiency. Like if some lunatic in US has access to a machine gun, he can put down like lots of people at once. While in UK, maybe because they don't have that kind of access to guns. But again, then if the mentality is still fucked up, then they can use a car and they can create a bomb.
Yeah, you can
At
make
home.
bombs.
Say, yeah, what will be like if we didn't have lethal weapons at all? Will there be less crimes? Maybe it will be less dead people. Maybe I'm not sure. Less crimes. You know.
I think we fail to realize that we're really just in society. There are a lot of roles being played out, and they're different. I mean, no matter what you do, essentially, I would say if you're a business person, if you're a CEO, um, I, you're there just because you've come to associate that with your identity, or it doesn't have so much to do with intelligence. So it's more about what role you choose to play, which is very interesting. You can learn to be what society might call not as smart, or maybe smarter. And today that's defined by your wealth. We
Technology, every time he starts spitting the truth, the
Yeah, that's
technology
it.
doesn't like it.
Luca, I'm sorry.
but of course, in the US, a big part of the picture is also the inequality. I think it was Peter Joseph who made who found some statistics about like you know, the connection between inequality and violence and all kinds of other problems, and he saw a really strong correlation. So obviously you have the 1 in the 99% in the US, and that's gonna definitely ensure as well that you have the gun, but you're definitely also gonna pull the trigger.
Sorry, I was kicked out.
Yep.
I mean, I
Again.
was yeah.
Removed.
I didn't actually. Let me clarify that. What I meant to say is that society perpetuates the notion that if your wealth is correlated with how smart you are, it perpetuates that notion. But that's a false notion, actually. I don't believe
Yeah, it just means that
that.
he's. I was going to say it just means that you set that goal for yourself to make the money, and then maybe you're smart if you manage to make that goal, but that had to be your goal.
But I mean, what is smart? What is intelligent? Is a CEO intelligent because he can make some sort of number that doesn't really exist?
I think
What does
Hitler
that
was
mean?
intelligent. If you measure things like that,
Yeah, that's what I
why
mean.
don't
Like, what does that
why
mean?
don't you call he's intelligent? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, is he intelligent because he managed to kill so many people with just a few amount of weapons compared to other countries? I mean, is that call that intelligent? That's why there is no definition of being intelligent.
Of course,
Depends.
of course. I'm just using it based on the definition that that society tends to assign to it, which is, I mean, we can really talk on this for a very long time and not really get anywhere, because we know that our language is ambiguous. The language that we're speaking right now is, and in general, if you think about the term smart, it's actually, it kind of is a false notion, because nobody is really born knowing what they do about the world. It's not a fixed thing, but we call it like he's a smart person, right? But he's actually more informed. If you've listened to Jacques Fresco, he's not smart, he's more informed.
Definitely. But what you
How
said
does that
before.
explain prodigies, though?
Is the connection, guys, really like bad? Because for me, it's like I
Yeah,
can barely.
yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
black.
it's a bit patchy.
Yeah.
It could be Bitsy. I mean,
Cody, are you uploading stuff?
no, I mean everything should be fine. Like as far as drop frames go, I got 0 on everything, so it's like just Jitsi.
Okay then. Sorry. Sophie.
No, just what you said before about at least what society, how society defines smart. I think this is also how the classism keeps on going, in that it's kind of a bad, like a negative feedback loop, because the people of lower classes, they have more problems if it's free education, but if it's not, obviously they have bigger problems because they can't afford it. And then also society tells them that they're stupid, so they start believing it themselves, and then it goes round and round, because they also don't believe that their kids are smart, and then they won't get a proper job and this and that. So yeah.
Well,
and I think that because we discussed about the violence, as well, and I think we can also bring the other news about. It was an analysis about video games. Are video games influencing people to be more violent? And basically, the news was like, from all of the data, they would be like, I don't think that's happening. I think they don't see the correlation basically between violent games and violence. I personally, I agree. Of course, is that science? That's science. But I also feel like this culture that is based on so much violence, from movies to that and to games and so forth, I think makes things maybe easier for people to maybe engage, to accept that the notion is like killing people is not a big issue. Like killing people even in a virtual world, or killing people in movies, or killing people in jails, maybe it's not, maybe it's a way to solve problems. Because I feel
It's a
like
human
it
instinct.
projects yeah, I feel it projects this notion of, killing people can be a solution to solve problems. Like, you have bad people, kill people, and maybe we solve problems. So yeah, what do you think, guys, about this, like violence and video games?
Well, they sure as hell make it a lot of
Yeah,
fun
and
to
movies
kill
also
people.
push this. What?
They make it like seem as though it's a really fun thing to do, to get headshots and to blow bodies to bits, or to punch somebody's skull, and with the whole Mortal Kombat
Yeah,
fatalities. And
because people feel excitement, from killing the enemy. It's like in the society we're taught, like, okay, maybe killing the good guys on your side is a bad thing, but killing the enemy is like the best thing ever, and they promote that through video games, movies, whatever else.
It's
in the culture.
just one way to get a dopamine rush. There are many
Yep.
ways to do it. It's
Yep.
one way to get a dopamine rush, and it works. Really
Sadly,
Yeah, and
works.
it's
it does. Sadly, it does.
sick to
It works so
exploit
well.
that.
Yep.
For some people, it's sort of a getaway from their job. Sometimes it's really stressful, and it's a sort of I think,
An
an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's more like scratching an itch. Like you are a slave at work, but you can be a superhero at home because you watch some movies with superheroes or just kill some motherfuckers. That's where you get maybe it's a way to diffuse that anger about this system that is it's helpful for this society because it gives people like diffusing their anger towards this nothing things, from movies to games. Nothing in the sense that they don't like fix their problems at work or problems in this society. So maybe they feel this discharge. Come home and be like, killing some people there, or
Yeah,
just
feels good. It feels good.
It's
Have
good.
you ever played, Theo? Have you played a violent video game? Have you shot people in the head and watched their heads explode?
But
Have you done
it's
with that to
also
your
made
friends?
like that. It's made so that you will feel really great when something happens, So you'll keep on playing, and maybe you'll buy the next thing that requires you to, that's required to buy before the next level, and so.
Oh, that's
And
a
that's
whole
the
other
problem
different thing.
because, yeah, and that's the problem because it works. So it gets people excited, gets them to buy more stuff. So companies basically force that to take that to the next level for the next game to be more violent, more brutal, more whatever. And then you just push that through the system, through this culture, because now you have more and more things that really kind of get to people, and it's like a spiral effect that causes people to just become more and more insane, basically, or more violent, more brutal, looking for some shocking stuff.
I think the term is called hyper-normalization.
Mm-hmm.
When they normalize extreme graphic violence, and it started at a young age. But I want to know from all of you, how many of you guys have actually played and sort of gleaned some satisfaction from an extremely violent video game? Cody, I know about you. So you're the same.
Kill streak.
But Theo, have you? Yeah, kill streak.
How
But
many
Theo, have you?
Oh, tens of thousands. I mean, if you want to go back to my World of Warcraft days, it keeps track of all that stuff. So, I mean, I'm just slaughtering them, man.
All country.
And do you think this has a kind of effect? I think we talked about this before, but a kind of like effect in the sense of like getting used to this idea of no, killing is not maybe a bad thing, or it's just no, it doesn't make sense.
I think I'd use your cup of tea analogy as the brain and putting in like a tea bag. So like you can play Call of Duty and get full on into the guns and like, oh, I want real guns and whatever. But there's also the flip side where I think they took out like this, I don't know, he was like 11 or 12-year-old kid to like the shooting range or something. He was like a Call of Duty player, and then they got him to shoot a real gun and he ended up crying and didn't want anything to do with it. And it's just what's up here already, and then I'm playing a game that glorifies killing, if you want to put it like that way, or something like that. But as far as like you take like maybe normal normal a person who would not have the thought of like shooting up a school, and he just sits and plays Call of Duty for 8 hours. I don't think you make a killer out of that guy.
It's also that the analogy. Let's keep the analogy. You put tea bags in people's brain, and the brain is like the substance. The more, if you take a tea bag that has a certain flavor, the more of that flavor you put in, the more you change the consistency, the substance in the brain. So that's how we are influenced by the environment. So the more you are exposed to probably violence, doesn't matter if it's online games or just violence in your real life, probably that is going to affect your entire being, your entire behavior. So I'm wondering, given like the studies who may say, okay, we have find no link between video games, violent video games or movies, and the violent behaviors. I didn't look at exactly the studies, but I'm curious, for one, who sponsors those studies, because if they are sponsored by a gaming company, I'll be very skeptical about that. Second, how are they studying this? Like, how do you study this? Maybe they are a bit more violent in general, maybe they don't have to take a gun and shoot other people. Maybe they are a bit more angry, but it's extremely difficult to change to study that. So based on that, I would say that it's still fucked up to make our society get used to killing people being such a like, I just kill someone. Because I put it in perspective with raping. I told you before, like, imagine if you had the same amount of games that you have about shooting was about raping, and let's rape people, let's rape little girls, and let's rape little boys, and let's rape everybody. And it would be like such a fun game, raping people. The more people you rape, the more points you get. Wouldn't you think that it's a bit fucked up? Like, it's
Yeah,
a
there
bit
are games
fucked up,
like
but
that.
Just you saying it now sounds I mean, and
Yeah, it's
really
absolutely fucked
a
up.
little bit disturbing actually, that when we're talking about killing, it doesn't feel as
Yeah.
fucked up.
Well, that's where society
Yeah,
drew the
exactly.
line was
No, that-
between, that.
Yeah.
No, I think that's simply because that's been normalized. That's been normalized. It's been in our face for so long and so often and
Yeah.
so inescapable that it somehow feels sort of less intimidating or less uncomfortable than the rape games. But there are rape games, and probably don't want to go there, but I'm pretty sure that's the. I mean, there is also very really bad shit online. If you go looking for it, you can find it. There is snuff porn, actually snuff movies, and all of that. And
But that
There,
was
there
my
was
point.
I was just gonna say real quick. There was also a really interesting example that Theo gave in his ethics and morality book, and it was from a show that they had to like cut off the head of a mannequin in like a violent way or something like that, and the mannequin had no top on. So they put a bikini or whatever, a bra on this mannequin and then cut its head off. To me that just shows perfectly like how insane our society is.
And
Like you
nothing
can
in
just
show it was
cut off her
mid.
head, but you can't show her tits, huh?
Nothing in show it was Mythbusters was like extremely
Okay,
popular.
okay,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. What?
Yeah,
It's
because they said
funny,
that it's like, oh, let's put a bra because let's not let
yeah,
those
I mean,
bulgy things, But then,
That's insane,
I
and that
mean,
was my
if
point.
you're going to be killing somebody, let's not be trashy. Put a bra on.
That was my point. Like, we are so used to killings being normal, and that's, for me, that's the biggest problems. The biggest problem, because that's why if you put it in perspective with like rape, like I give you the example of games. I know there are, Cody, that we talked about this before. It was a game about, I think, raping or something that went on Steam, and
Yep.
it was a big.
It got pulled.
People were like, what the fuck? Don't put such a game on Steam. Steam is a platform for games, but it's full of like decapitating people
Everything
and
else.
shooting them in the head and like
Everything else.
torturing them and all shit like that. So I mean, where do you draw the line?
It's just
Yeah.
so absurd, all of
Right
it.
there.
I think sometimes maybe, I don't know, it's also become so realistic at this point. It's difficult because if you watch the Shrek movie, I don't know if you watched that when you were young, but I kind of had a look at it again when I grew up, and it just looks so bad and so unrealistic. Like the CGI seems so bad and everything. So I don't know if you can say that it's so realistic today, because who knows about like in 3 or 5 years. But at least, I don't know, maybe sometimes the brain doesn't really know how to differentiate. Like I'm playing a game now, like does the brain fully know that it's not real, like how much does it impact the brain? Like I've watched a lot of interviews with people with both physical and mental disabilities. It's really interesting to see other types of realities for people. And there were a lot of stories about people with schizophrenia. And a lot of these people, because they have hallucinations that are really terrifying, and a lot of those actually have like lead characters from horror movies. And that's an interesting thing, I find, because it's a real fear. So maybe the brain doesn't know that it wasn't real, you know?
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I watched this video stories of, like mythological tales or something. So I remember I was very young. We were talking about shitty graphics. This was even in 2D, and it was badly drawn. It was like MS Paint. So it's like the forest animals would go into, like there was a messed up forest ruled by a messed up lion, and there would be these little creatures that would have to go to the lion's den, and then the lion would eat them because that's how things work in the forest. And I remember when I was really young, you could press a button, and then an animal would go in, and then the lion would crunch on them. That sound was terrifying. Made me cry. I never got to the end of that video story thing, but it was still very, very graphic. I could like literally imagine in my head, even through those shitty graphics, that some poor animals were being munched on. But when I saw images of that on the Discovery Channel, I was like, oh, okay.
And Aaron and Francesco, if you want to, please, if you want to add anything, because we tend to talk a lot.
Yep.
So, Francesco, if you want to say anything, do you play games, Francesco? Or is your mic not working, maybe?
His mic is nice.
It's not working. Well, maybe next time. Yeah.
I was
Yeah, I don't
hoping
play. I too used to play video games like Half-Life or something like that. Kill people and GTA, but a long time ago. And now probably you can kill in virtual reality with your hands and just
Oh yeah.
you can properly struggle someone. Like
Absolutely.
properly, you can
Oh,
properly.
it's
Maybe you
crazy.
have a knife and you can just like stab somebody.
Might and
and you
magic
look
is insane.
Yeah, but child soldiers don't have access to violent video games. They don't go through a simulator to learn how to shoot AK-47. So what do you say about that? Makes 6, 7-year-olds hold up an assault rifle and shoot people if necessary. It's normalization and it's conditioning. Do video games do that to some extent?
we touched upon a very interesting topic here, which is essentially human behavior, neurobiology, and these are really tied into the problems that we're seeing and the fact that we don't have people with an adequate understanding of these things in places of power, or we don't have leaders with knowledge of these things. And really everything that you know complements. So essentially it's like if Neil deGrasse Tyson said, if you're going to just work on one field, let's say the medical field, well, you need people, you need physicists, you need chemists who are simultaneously working, because their contributions also influence the medical field. So, but there's also a TED Talk I watched. It said that reality is a controlled hallucination. It's a hallucination that we agree upon. When our hallucinations do not align, that's when we call a person crazy.
Yeah.
It's also it's not all the time. It depends who is in charge. It depends who makes the business there, because even if you put Neil Tyson or whoever you want, like who knows, understands about human behavior, the decisions, like what video games are made, how the healthcare system will look like, and so forth, are based on profits, are based on the big companies who are going to say, well, that's what we do, that's why we sell our shit through these things, and we take our decisions. I don't care what you say, or they will bribe those people. So putting the right people in place, I think it will, maybe it's a nice experiment, but it's I don't think it's going to change much, because the forces that come beneath, the profit force is so strong. How can you change the landscape of the games that we see today? Of course, I don't want to talk about Dima's book, because we can kind of go into that direction, because he talks about games. But I'll just give you this example. companies want even more violent games and more shocking games because they want to sell stuff. If they didn't want that, they would not make those games. And we provide examples of like what games are out there that are not based on and so forth.
Luca?
Luca,
Someone's
someone-
eating something.
what are you eating, Luca?
Cheerios?
I was just putting the bread away.
Some crunchy bread.
Snack.
Yeah, so
Plastic,
that's a
plastic.
the entertainment book that what drives companies to make maybe more and more violent games and not more smart games, like more interesting games and so forth. Like it's the same with movies and everything else.
And I
So,
100
yeah.
100% agree with you. It is trade. There's no denying that when you have something, it's been in place for such a long time, and we see that problems are continually reoccurring. Why is that? Well, you have certain incentives, you have certain motives that reappear due to trade, and the whole cause. Well, it's trade. And trade can only exist when there's scarcity.
You wanted to say scarcity? You want to go again? You want to go again? Look how scarcity. Please,
Now
no.
let me tell you about.
We don't use the S word
trade,
around here.
yeah, well, trade can make you pretend there is scarcity, so there doesn't need to be scarcity, really.
Yeah, but in a trade-free world, say hypothetically, would nobody make violent video games?
Most probably not.
I don't think so.
Well, I would say so. I would say yes. You will see less violent games because it doesn't have this influence. Like we explain in that book, like look at the biggest companies today that produce video games. They want to shock people with something. If you don't have that incentive that you want to shock people because you really want profits, they really exaggerate. And it's not only about movies; it's about movies as well. They really want to exaggerate stuff. It's in their own interest to get more in return. If they don't, we can give so many examples of amazing games and amazing movies and amazing documentaries that don't make it because companies are interested to take them and promote them. Like I don't want to explain this because it's in the book, it's in the entertainment book, but you should read it. I think we will discuss this. I think we'll discuss this next week when we do about, and we'll discuss this for sure.
Okay.
Well, I know we want to make some video explaining it. I think we wanted to explain it, or we might want to explain it better. How, the concept of trade, because I'm certain that I don't fully understand. I mean, I understand the principles here, but I think that many people would benefit understanding how trade works and why it may be obsolete. It seems to be obsolete because trade is based on scarcity. So I don't know if you heard me. I was cut off, but
Oh, we heard you loud and clear, and
oh, great.
we had lots of debates
that make sense?
about
Does that-
scarcity. We have a lot of debates about scarcity and trade, and that
There
I
we
don't
go,
want to go
most
there anymore.
problem.
We spent
Of course.
10 plus hours on TROM-Cast discussing that. What I can say is that scarcity doesn't need all of the time to trades, and trades are also based on other things. And but we wrote like 1,000 pages book. We wrote like 1,000 pages book on the topic and explain it in great detail, like what trading. And I will make a documentary now. In a month or so, I'll start to work on the documentary. I'll start to work on the script, and we'll start to film stuff, and we will explain much more interestingly in a 1 hour documentary.
That is our mission.
1.5 hour documentary.
That is our mission here. Am I wrong? Or I'm sorry, am I not wrong, or am I ignorant? Am I less correct?
What do you mean?
Well, isn't that what we're trying to do? Is we've identified trade to be a source of many problems, and we want to. That's what is our mission, or what exactly? I understand that do we have a mission statement?
Like I guess creating trade-free goods and services is like if we've identified trade as the issue. I don't know what to. But that's as far as we understand is like the direction we're moving in is to try to provide and promote open source, decentralized, which usually would naturally be in line with like a trade-free kind of ideology or expecting nothing in return.
Yeah, we had like, of course, this is a central point. That's why we had like 2, 3, or even 4 TROM-Casts. Like I think we had like 15 hours or something of discussions. Plus in the background, like we had lots of other discussions. Plus 1,000 plus pages book about this. And I will make a documentary. And I think we talked a lot about this. I don't want to bring it now, but we will bring it again in TROM-Cast. So just we will do it again. But I don't want it in this TROM-Cast because I also want to like not make it long, so it's almost like an hour, so we can go to the other news. And you can also have like, we have TROM discussions, so people don't think like, oh, but you're ignoring this and you want to. We have TROM discussions on Riot, so anyone can participate there. It's public. It's on tromsite.com/get involved. Participate there and ask any questions. I'm there too, so we can reply to all kinds of questions. But I think we did a lot on this, like trace, scarcity, and a lot. Like I couldn't sleep for a few days. It was like crazy.
He's not lying.
Yeah. So it's important. Okay, it's very important. I get that, and we will explain more and more. But let's go to the other news quickly, and then maybe we can.
Chisel. Okay, so 22% of millennials say they have no friends. I feel it. I feel that. You guys are my only friends.
Everyone has friends online.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Was that the UK or something? What was this? I think I heard
Actually,
similarly for the UK.
if
it's not.
I think this is like, looks like it's saying like millennials, so basically 23 to 38 right now. You're in this.
Well, how many people are we
I'm a millennial.
that they asked?
3. How many millennials did they ask? Like the study size? 1,200.
From
I think it's from UK or US.
yeah, right.
I think so.
I'm not seeing where they did it.
I'm just wondering if we're talking global or like a specific country. That's all.
So what's a friend?
Well, if it's 1,200, it's probably a specific country.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
But I guess, yeah, it's
also always a problem.
Germany.
Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh wait! Sorry. That was referencing another paper. I should actually read the damn thing.
Yeah, but the important thing is here that such studies, it's always difficult. That I want to point this out. It's always difficult because you ask people. No, it depends what you ask people. But maybe it could be that today it's this illusion of having online friends, but maybe not having that many friends. I don't know, because I don't have online friends. I'm not like on Facebook and shit. People don't wish me happy birthday. I'm not that kind of in that kind of bubble, so I don't know. But I feel like with other people that I see, I feel like online friends is just like a name. Like it's a friend, but I'm not sure it's real friends, or what does it mean to have 100 friends on Facebook or on Instagram. I don't know.
I'm famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The current.
Yeah, and I think now with especially, I think. Hello.
Yep.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Before I was cutting out really bad. I think also now, I mean, it's a difficult situation with social media being so popular, especially Instagram, when people are constantly asking for attention from the outside, from other people. It's like they can't even enjoy the moment that they have together, you know, when you're constantly filming yourself doing something to show it to somebody else. And I feel like that's what so many people are doing.
Yeah, it's selfie land.
Yep.
Am I
Oh my God,
disconnecting again?
No, you're okay, Sasha.
This network problem. Yeah,
It's just your video.
I'm just gonna leave because I keep on dropping out and I can't even pay.
It happens to me also.
Yeah.
What browser? What browser are you using? I know some web design, so I have to ask if you're still here.
I think she's
You
got
guys should install it. Yeah.
Yeah, Jitsi app.
Yeah,
I mean,
sorry.
even today it's
Get-
kind of being problematic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Shaz.
Oh, okay. Yo, but what's the friend?
Okay.
I'm not
So-
sure if it has something to do with the browser getting kicked out.
Maybe GT servers are overloaded or something.
That's what my guess would be, because most of these guys have been black this whole time, but I have like 0 drop frames on the network, so. It's...
Yeah,
You can-
that could be it. Not everyone was kicked out or
Yeah, that's true.
Nah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I think only you and Sasha.
Discrimination. Okay. So other news, and let's just
Yeah.
then because I want to then say some things about Tom.
All good. Okay, so how scientists are harvesting fog to secure the world's water supply.
Harvesting what?
Yeah.
Fog.
Sorry. Fog.
Fog.
Yeah, I've seen videos
Okay.
about this.
Fog, Sophie, come on. It's
Okay.
Really Sophie, fog is just rain, but doesn't.
It doesn't come down.
yeah. Just kind of stays.
Okay.
It's just clouds.
Yeah.
But they have some really cool, like not even complex machineries. Like they create this fog into water droplets, and water droplets fall down, and they collect this water, and it's really cool tech to do that. Very cool.
Yeah, I know that animals are doing it like in the desert of Africa or so close to the ocean. They have some techniques how they harvest the water.
I think it's even there in the deserts of South America, in the northern deserts. I saw this video sometime about hanging up these huge net-like things, collecting, where water could actually, you could harvest water from fog. It works very slowly, but then in a place where it doesn't get that much of rain, it seems to be a really cool piece of technology that can get you water from the sky.
Yep. Anything else?
Oh, wait, like another. Are we just going to the next news?
Yep.
All right. Eyes in the sky. We'll soon see everything. Even what happened in the past. Is it too late to worry about privacy? Dun dun dun.
Yep.
You know, they make these little drones that they survey. Look, like these eyes of this little dragon.
Yeah.
They survey a city.
Yeah, I'm watching.
They survey it all the time. So they are in the air, and you can basically use the footage, and I can track you. I can track your movements. Like, where did you go? What did you do? You have access to so much information. They are already doing this sort of things.
But I'm always at
So
home or at
crazy.
work, so you're not going to get anything from me. I'm going to be bored.
Okay. I didn't realize that they're saying the satellites can take a resolution up to 25 centimeters. Like commercial satellites are allowed to. Like that's just like a legal limitation.
That's like the size of an A4 paper. You can read documents.
Yeah, right? From space.
That's not creepy.
That's not creepy at all.
Yeah, and these are used already by, I don't think it's like a malefic group of people who want to control us. I just their own interests, like their own fucking interests. For one, to maybe sell stuff that is sell us better, like in a better way. Or if you're China or other countries, just to accuse people or all kinds of shit, or just control. It's a big factory. If you put such tools in the hands of these primitive people with primitive values and perverse incentive, this kind of trade thing, it's really bad.
Oh, so it's just companies. Whatever.
Yeah, it's their own stuff, You do your own satellites, Sophie, okay? You make your own company. What are you bitching about?
Come on. You can do it.
Next.
T-Mobile and Sprint merger is blatantly anti-competitive. Yeah.
So it's such a funny thing, because they split apart like internet companies or phone companies at one point, because it was this Bell company, I think, and they split the Bell. into multiple companies, and it became like AT&T and others. And because they say that, okay, you are too big. It's like taking Google and be like, okay, Google, you are too fucking big. You know, you have to split you in like 10 companies. And then they split them, and then they somehow merge together again. It's like a planet. It's like splitting up and merging them. Splitting up. And that's what happens, you know. So it doesn't work. That's the point.
Okay. What a no-carrier phone could look like.
Isn't it a weird thing that we still have to use these fucking like SIM cards to have to contact with each other? I rarely use my phone. Even with the SIM card, I use like the internet and like call on Signal or something. Why would we use that? It's such a old technology, and just to keep track of subscribers and shells, our like data plans and shit like that. Imagine if you could we can use already the Wi-Fi, you know, for calls, video calls, and everything else. We don't need this fucking SIM card like identifier. I don't see the point. And there is a phone, the Libre phone that is working on actually implemented this kind of thing. It works without a carrier. Finally. All the stuff. And that's it, huh?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yep. What I got.
Whew, okay. And let me give you some
interesting stuff.
updates. Some updates about Chrome quickly, like 5 minutes. We made for tradefree.org, Roma made a really cool script that anyone can use now and translate the entire tradefree.org website. You only have access to a file. The guy is very smart, you know. You only have access to a text file, and you translate stuff, and that's it, basically. You don't have to deal with anything else. You can replace links. So I will make a tutorial about that, a small tutorial, and I'll share with people. And something that I wanted to say is that, you know, now I finished the last Trom book, the entertainment book, and we will focus a bit on TROM-Jaro. There are some really cool news about TROM-Jaro. Like, we got in contact a bit more with the Manjaro developers for our TROM-Jaro operating system. Yeah, even Aaron messaged even the guy who's in charge, and he was like, I know. He didn't get exactly the straight-free thing that we are promoting, but even he was like, we keep an eye on your TROM-Jaro. Since we released it, we kept an eye on it, and I think you do some interesting cool stuff there. And soon you will be able to install applications from our websites directly. So you click install, and then install it. Is really cool. They implemented that. Sophie is also like helping with, she makes icons for TROM-Jaro, which is, she does a fucking great job. I don't know how she does. And she's unstoppable. I'm like, I send her stuff, she does them, and she's like, I want more.
Well, it's fun.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So she's helping with that, which is fantastic. And Luca, he's quite new to the project. He joined us a few weeks ago, something like that. And he's helping now with for one with the websites, because he solved a bug with the Trom site recently. And he tries to now record the voice to make all of our books audiobooks. We usually wanted to make video books out of our books, but it takes a long time. It's really cool, but what if we make directly the audiobook version? You know, let's just make audiobook versions. And he's trying to now record in English to record the audiobooks, and that would be fantastic. Okay.
That would be actually very helpful, because you don't always get the time to keep reading, but audiobooks you can listen to while you're doing something else. I think that's a very good way to experience these books.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I think there was some a bug there with the player for audio, with the audio player on Trom's side.
Really? It's still there?
I'm not sure. I haven't really tested it.
Okay, if there is a bug, we can test it more. But yeah, we are, because we have a player for audio files, and we also transferred our files more and more from Vimeo to Internet Archive, and we stream them now from Internet Archive, which is much more interesting because it's free, and we want to keep up Vimeo. We uploaded there a ton of our videos on Internet Archive. And the biggest news I would say is that now that I'm done with the all kinds of stuff, although I have a billion other things to do, I will try to focus on a documentary. I want to make this really cool documentary, and I'll make an entire TROM-Cast about it. I love to, I really like to make books, but I fucking love to make videos. Like when I made Trom documentary, I really like that. It's because it's not only text, it's also visuals, it's also the music, it's also the voiceover, it's all of that. It's a story, So I want to work on the script, and I will update everyone like what I want to do, and I have really interesting ideas here. And we are going to film some stuff here in the city where I live because it's like some interesting things to film, like lots of waste of resources. And yeah, just keep an eye on that because, or on what we do, because it's interesting because Strom now is gets more and more active. So much active that in the past I used to be a filter that pushed things more and more. Like people had ideas and I could implement them and so forth. Now I feel like I'm a filter who keeps things in place because I don't have as much time as before because people contact with all kinds of ideas. So I will try to see how I can manage this. But that's great. People are really involved with Rom, which is fucking fantastic. So you will hear a lot from us this year. We'll do a lot of stuff. I think that's it. Yeah. And we post. Yeah. Sure.
Thanks for the people who help us and who keep donating and supporting us because it's so important. Yeah. Just wanted to mention this.
Yeah, I think we could make an entire TROM-Cast about this kind of invisible people who either fix bugs with Trom site or like Francesco, for example. He's so attentive to like typos and broken links and so forth. He always like annoys me with such stuff. but it's great because we can fix so many things. Ziad and others, they're there, and people who donate. There are so many people who help. It's not fair to say anymore. In 2011 when I released Strom documentary, I think it was fair to say that it was my work because I did everything, the script, the website, everything. Now it's not anymore like that. Although I work a lot, a shit ton, there are so many people involved that I will never dare to do anything with Trom more than just have it open for everybody, like open, and anybody can take it, do whatever you want, with it. And another idea, because I bought this tradefreemedia.org website domain. We are going to make a trade-free media website where we are going to post a shitload of footage with drone footage and slow motion footage and photos and so forth for people to download them. Trade-free media. No license, no bullshit, no anything like this.
So and even include like photographs and stock images and stuff like that. People can use.
And anyone can contribute that. Like even Dima said, he's a professional music player, a bass player, and he has also makes lots of cool videos. And he said that he has 4K footage and he wants to contribute on that. Maybe he has music as well. He wants to contribute on that. It would be really cool, like because there's no license, You do it, what you do, just take it,
It's freer than free. Is what it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I can make illustrations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Icon.
Great.
Yep. Like cactuses with faces and stuff like that. Cute emojis.
Yep.
Yeah, so lots of stuff happening, and this month is like we are visited here like our Trom office because we have like this little kind of Trom office is our apartment here. I stay with Aaron and Sasha. Sasha is not here for now, but here with Vicky, and they help with Spanish stuff. I even they made some flyers with tromsite.com in Spanish. They want to give to people, and Roma will come here, and then Seb and Sophie will come here. It's like something is happening here. I'm a bit confused, but no problem. That's so great. Because I'm not used to this. I was used to just work alone from my own comfort. And now I work from my own comfort, but surrounded by people. So that's great.
And we have very friendly people. Part of
yeah.
Theo is one of the 4 out of 5 millennials who is not friendless.
The only ones on the planet.
Okay.
All right.
Next week we talk about that book, that big book. I promise you. I hope so.
Yeah.
Nice cover, by the way.
Yeah, nice cover.
It's a cliffhanger.
With the monster on it.
For the next TROM-Cast.
Okay. Thank you. Luca, for participating in the first TROM-Cast, and yeah, thank you everybody. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Arrivederci.